Hi everyone, I'm Abby and I am a process engineer. So I grew up in New Zealand mostly. I went to Sacred Heart Girls College in New Plymouth, and in my final year of school I studied English, history, chemistry, physics, calculus and religious studies. This set me up really well to pursue whatever I wanted at university basically. So I went to university in Auckland at the University of Auckland. I initially started studying law and science. However, after about 2 years of that, I realised it wasn't for me, I wasn't happy, it wasn't what I wanted to do. I thought I wanted to put bad guys in jail. So I made the pretty tough, admittedly, decision to swap to engineering. So at the time it was a really big call. I was only 20. I'd spent 2 years and a lot of money in pursuing a degree that I didn't want to do anymore. Luckily I had a really good support network and was brave enough to make the change, and it was one of the best decisions I've ever made. I absolutely loved studying engineering. You can see my engineering class in the photo down the bottom there. We were a really close group of people. It was really, really fun. So I completed my engineering degree and I was lucky enough to get offered a place in one of the graduate programs over here in Perth. So in 2015 I packed up my bags and moved over to WA. So when I say graduate program, the more classic, I suppose, engineering route, so not everyone does this, but it is pretty standard, is that when you finish university, you move into what's called a graduate program with an engineering company. And what this means is that the company will invest time and money sort of training you up, making sure you get a good breadth of assignments, and you just get a little bit more pastoral care and attention while you're still finding your feet. You're not expected to go straight from university into being a fully fledged engineer. Most engineers never stop learning over their entire career. Things change, you see new things, philosophies change. It's fascinating and awesome. In 2016, probably another career highlight was that I got placed up on site, up north. So that was awesome. I loved being outside, running around the equipment, working in the teams. I was working 4 weeks on, 4 weeks off, so I got to see the world as well as progressing my career. Since then, I've since moved back to the office and I'm working as a process engineer in town. So what does a process engineer actually do? So you may have noticed in the previous slide that I have a degree in chemical and materials engineering. So chemical engineering and process engineering are very similar. The first thing to understand is what I don't do is sit in a lab doing chemistry experiments all day. That is not the role of a process engineer. Rather, what we look after is the process itself. So anytime you turn one thing into something else, there will be a process engineer involved. For example, I work in LNG. So what we do is we take natural gas out of the ground, the same gas that if you turn on your gas hob at home and you see the flame come out, we take that gas and cool it down so that it becomes a liquid using the same process that keeps your fridges cold. So what the process engineers do is look after the pressures, the temperatures, the flow rates to make sure that we're doing this safely and efficiently. So what I love about engineering is it combines creativity and technical knowledge. In order to fix a problem, you need to be able to creatively apply what you know to come up with normally multiple solutions. Very rarely in engineering is there one right answer and one solution that's thought of. It tends to be a variety that will get presented and then one will get implemented based on whatever criteria is considered important in that project at that time. Normally things like cost, safety, time to install. So I mentioned I work in LNG, but what else can you do with a process engineering degree? So friends that I studied with, I've got friends who make wine, friends who make beer, friends who make ice cream, friends who make chocolate. I've got friends who work in construction, friends who work in investment banking. I've got friends who work for a rocket lab. I've got a friend who's just finishing up her Masters of Space Studies in France. Obviously, renewable energy is taking off. The beauty of an engineering degree is that it teaches you the technical side, but it also teaches you how to think and how to solve problems, which means you can do anything with that. You can do whatever you want. It was lovely talking to you guys. Thanks for the opportunity, and I look forward to talking to you guys in the future.